Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator. Your sister is a queen? Alpha? Protector? May I step out? Hiccup looked over Astrid's shoulder at Moondust. He frowned. The guilt he had seen earlier seemed deeper after the youngling's question. Hiccup moved away from Astrid and stepped over to Moondust. Her eyes flicked up, but her bowed head did not lift. Hiccup placed his hand upon the top of her head and leaned closer so he could whisper. He suspected she did not want it widely known what she was feeling. You are not at fault for this. Moondust gave a small jerk. Hiccup placed his cheek against hers, sliding his hand down and around her head to accommodate the new posture. You are not at fault for this, he whispered again. That male held delusions he never should have had. He chose to believe those delusions and his own self-thought importance over what was real and true. Had it been anyone else in the nest that male targeted, Toothless would have still fought and killed that male. He has never given up being a nest protector. He just chose a different nest. Try not to feel guilt over this. I declare you not at fault. That male was at fault for all of this, and he paid for his transgression, both against you and this nest. Hiccup heard shuffling and saw the Sand-Wraith youngling out of the corner of his eye. The youngling cooed sadly and rubbed his head against Moondust's foreleg. We did not mean to make you feel bad, the youngling said softly. It's just... all the older hatchlings last night told us about you. They said you were fun, that you played with them and told great stories. Icewing and her brothers said you taught them all kinds of things, since you were staying with their grandmother, and that their grandmother said you were their father's new sister. The youngling paused and shifted so he could stare up at Hiccup. I can call your father Grandpa now, right? Yes, Hiccup said, smiling. The youngling turned back to Moondust, rubbing his head against her foreleg again. When Grandpa came to get me and my brothers, he said Dad was hurt and that he got hurt keeping you safe. Icewing said her uncle said that's what dads do. They keep mums safe, and mums keep dads safe, and both keep the young safe. Hiccup heard Gita groan. That sounds like something my son would say. It's not true? The nightmare youngling asked. It's true, Gita responded. It's just not complete. I guessed Icewing missed the rest of what Shadowfire said, or just didn't say it completely. I don't understand, the Sand-Wraith said. It means there is more to what Icewing told you, little one. A new voice from above said. Everyone shifted so they could look up. Hiccup smiled at the Change-Wings looking down from the loft. Who are you? The Sand-Wraith asked, and Hiccup looked down to see the youngling stepping back and spreading his small wings. One wing extended, covering Hiccup's feet. Hiccup smiled. Knowing the youngling was acting like his father and trying to protect a nestmate. Why are you in Uncle Alpha's sleeping area? The youngling continued. Firestorm said no other female is supposed to be up there. That Aunt Lady Alpha will not like it. Uncle Alpha's her intended. Hiccup saw amusement shine in the female Change-Wing's eyes, even as several of the adults in the room gave soft snickers. An excellent challenge question, young warrior guard, the female said. I am the head warrior guard of my own nest. My sister and brother-in-law are its queen and king, and we are allied to your uncle. Since several of the nest had to be away, my sister asked several warrior guards to help keep your uncle's nest safe. Your grandfather let myself and my mate stay here. Stay with him and your uncle Sharpshot, while we did what our queen asked. Your sister is a queen? All three younglings asked. The Sand-Wraith's wings curled against his side, and the youngling tried to curl up round behind Hiccup and Moondust, cooing in what sounded like fear. Hiccup heard the other two cooing as well, and looked over his shoulder. The other two were trying to bury into Gida's outer robe. Easy, Hiccup said soothingly. Her sister is not like that fallen queen. I promise you. Her sister is kind and loving, and has a daughter about the age all of you are.
Her sister doesn't eat dragons?
The Sand Wraith asked in a whisper. Hiccup lifted his hand and placed it upon the youngling's head in order to comfort him. Moondust lowered her head and rubbed the youngling's head with her cheek before Hiccup could reach him. Moondust purred softly. Hiccup heard more shuffling and found the two other younglings huddling with their brother. Moondust gently rubbed her head against all three, still purring. Hiccup heard his brother warble something in the old tongue, and got the impression it was both a thank you to Moondust and a reassurance to his sons. Moondust's gaze flickered to a point behind Hiccup, and he guessed she was looking at Toothless. Hiccup saw her sensing lobe twitch and her eyelids close slowly, reopening a heartbeat later. She still comforted the younglings. They seemed to calm, though none of them moved from leaning against Hiccup and Moondust. The change-wings above Hiccup sighed, and Hiccup looked down. I should have remembered the tale of this nest, and not spooked them. The female said, I apologize, young Alpha and brother to the Alpha. An honest mistake, Hiccup said, and Toothless chittered something that sounded like an acceptance of the apology. Maybe in spring, Hiccup continued, when your niece comes to visit the nest, your sister can come as well. The boys can meet her and see for themselves that she is a good queen. Hiccup looked down at the younglings. And everyone in this nest will be with you, boys. You won't meet her alone, I promise. All three younglings looked at Hiccup. He smiled. They cooed and nuzzled him, then nuzzled Moondust, crooning something that sounded like a thank you. Moondust chittered and cooed before lifting her head. Young Alpha, the head guard said. Hiccup looked up. Since you and your nestmates are back, we must return. I understand. We will miss having you around. Tell your sister and brother-in-law we are all grateful, and if they ever need our aid, we will be there. The changeling smiled. May the winds forever be under your wings, young Alpha. Hiccup smiled. And under yours. And if you will, please tell the acid fantails that came with you this. May the currents forever bring them home. The changeling pair laughed. I see you met a deeper water dragon on your flight. The male said, A water twister, Hiccup said. She taught me that. I shall pass it along to the acid fantails, young Alpha, the head guard said. We will take our leave now. With that, the changelings disappeared from view.
Wait,
the Sand Wraith said.
She didn't tell us what the more was that Icewing had to say.
End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Oh, that was beautiful. It really was. Also, that Sand Wraith is a bold little one, isn't he? Snapping at that changeling and putting his wing out to protect Hiccup. That's adorable. And so brave. I feel proud of these boys. And Moondust, despite what she's going through, not only being comforted by Hiccup, but comforting the boys after they were scared about the queen because it reminds them of the old queen. Oh, she's a queen herself. That's adorable. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.